Imagine my surprise when I arrived at home and received an invitation to a tea party by none other than the Mad Hatter. Here is my review for hats. Hats from Thundergryph Games is a cute, quick, and surprisingly strategic card game for 2 to 4 players. It's for ages 14 and up, and takes around 20 minutes to play, but if you're only playing with 2 players, a game can be as quick as 5 minutes. I rate games based on gameplay, fun factor, and components, so let's go ahead and start with gameplay. In hats, players compete to acquire the most outstanding hats by exchanging cards in hand with cards in front of them on the tea table board. However, the exchanging of cards on the tea table board influences how the game is scored at the very end. It's outrageously dynamic. Now in hats there are 6 different colored hat cards numbered 1 through 6, and at the beginning of the game cards are dealt onto the tea table to start, and then each player is dealt a hand of 9 cards. The anatomy of a card is very simple. There is a color of the card and a number of the card, and both of these come into play, and I'll get into them later. A turn consists of a player exchanging a card from their hand with a card on the tea table. But the card they take from the tea table does not go back into their hand, it actually goes face up in front of them. Now exchanging a card from your hand with the tea table card has 2 simple rules. 1. A same color card can be exchanged for any other same color card, regardless of the numeric value on either card. 2. A different color card can be exchanged with another card on the tea table so long as its numeric value is higher. So for example, if you had a 6 green card in your hand, you could replace a 5 blue card on the tea table. Players can also take a card from their hand and just put it upside down in front of them, making a black hat. Black hats are worth 1 point at the end of the game, and also count towards having a diverse hat collection. Once players have 8 hat cards in front of them and 1 hat card left in the hand, the game ends and score is tallied. The last card in your hand is considered your favorite hat, and it's really important. Now I know what you're thinking, is that it? Not even close. Let's talk about scoring. There are several things that create your score in hats. The first being the position of the colored hats on the tea table. You take the lowest color cards on the table and count them for points. So if there is a red card on the 6 spot and a red card on the 1 spot, it's the red in the 1 spot that counts. You actually flip the higher same colored cards over to create black hats, and black hats on the tea table do not count or multiply like other colored hats do. So starting with the number 1 spot, you see how many of that colored card are in front of you. So if there is a red in the 1 spot, and you have 2 red cards in front of you, you get 2 points. Then you move on to the 2 slot, and so on and so forth. Here is an example of a final tally. In this example, we see that there is 1 red card in the 3 spot, so this player gets 3 points for their red cards. There are no blues on the table, so they get no points for their blue. There is a pink card in the 5 slot, so their pink cards are actually worth 5 apiece. And then we can see there are no purple, so no points there, and black hats are always worth 1 point, regardless of the table. This totals to 14 points. Next, players see who has the most varied hat collection. Black hats count towards this diversity. If it's a tie, which actually often occurs, whoever has the lowest numbered card in front of them. If both players have a 1 in front of them, you move on to 2 and 3 and so on until the tie is broken. This person gets 5 points for having a diverse hat collection, but most importantly, they get the adorable cookie token. Lastly, the favorite hat is your last card in hand. If it is a purple card, for example, you take all the purple cards in front of you, add their numeric value together, and then subtract the value of your favorite hat card. In this example, our favorite hat card is a purple 3, and in front of us we have a 4 and a 2, so we take 6 points minus the 3 from our hand, and we get 3 extra points for our favorite hats. Generally speaking, having high-numbered cards in front of you and low-numbered favorite hat cards is ideal. Now let's talk about components. This game is an absolute delight when it comes to components. It has such a small footprint and its components are expertly made. The box is beautiful and looks amazing on your shelf. Its cover is even magnetized so it kind of holds itself together. The scoreboard is sturdy and I love the dry erase marker for quick scoring. The cards have a nice vinyl feel to them and feel good in your hand. This game is definitely one that you want to sleeve though, as these cards are going to be handled a lot, and tea might not be the only thing you're drinking while playing this game, if you catch my meaning. The art on the cards is very nice, and most importantly the colors are varying and easy to tell apart. The cookie token is adorable, but not for eating. Hats is part of the Made in Wonderland collection from Thundergryph Games, and they're all going to look like books, and I bet you they will look absolutely fantastic on your shelf. Now let's talk about fun factor. Hats, wow, what a game. At face value, this game is pretty simple, though the dynamic scoring at the end is quite complex. That explains the 14+ age restriction for this game. We're used to scoring in games being static. Longest road is worth 2 points, things like that. You think you have 10 points for your red hats at the end of the game, and then wham! Somebody rewrites the rules on the last turn. I struggle to put into words all the subtle strategy there are in hats. I've played maybe 15 times now, and I still have multiple times in a game where I'm like 100% confident I know what's going on, and then next turn I'm like, what is happening with this tea table? Where did all my points just go? The best part about hats, though, is that people who aren't super competitive can quickly grasp the concept of hats and just kind of flail their way through and sometimes win. There's just so many cooks in the kitchen when it comes to determining the final scoring of the hats, and no one really can plan for sure what their final score is going to be. Sometimes making a good play every turn beats planning 3 turns in advance. It's also a super fast game. If you lose, it's not like you just spent 1 to 3 hours getting to this point. You just wipe the dry erase marker off the scoreboard and play again. I have never played less than 3 games in one sitting. It's just that fun and quick. So just to elaborate a little more, I'm going to talk about some of the strategic quirks in this game that may not be entirely apparent. So messing with the positioning of the hats on the tea table is surprisingly complex. People's hat collection is open information, so you can theorize as to what they are going to score at the end of the game. If you see someone has a lot of red cards, you can either take their red card off the tee board by maybe playing a higher number card of a different color, or you could actually put a red card onto the 1 slot, devaluing all the red cards they have because they're now worth 1 each. Number 6 cards are very strong because they're hard to replace on the table. They can only really be replaced by the same color as them. But there's only 6 of every color in hats, which means card counting is a bit of a thing. If you have 3 reds and someone has 2 reds, there's only 1 red left in the game. And the favorite hat mechanic is really tricky to pull off. I won't get into it too much, but trust me, when it comes down to the wire, you're like, negative points for my favorite hat? It's hilarious. Hats takes 6 different colored cards and creates a dynamic, quick, and fun gaming experience worthy of the Mad Hatter himself. This game comes out around Gen Con and for the reasonable price of £20. For a small, footprint, fun, quick gaming experience, this game definitely gets the BattleCast seal of approval. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. New videos come out every Friday or Saturday. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like or even subscribing to the channel, or you can leave me a comment in the section below. Until next video, I'll see you then. Thanks.